ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another episode of Figure Talk. Now today we're going to pretty much just be discussing the ACG HK as well as my recent trip to Hong Kong and Secret Base. So Secret Base did have a lot of old stuff on display and some new stuff as well. So this is pretty much their DC sort of section. I did get told off for videoing, so I went back a second day and managed to get more footage. So you can see here they have a really awesome Civil War display, and you can see hiding back there is the Crossbones figure. Now I did get a really close-up photo of Crossbones, and I will discuss that in just a sec, but you can see they've got Guardians of the Galaxy down there with some unreleased sort of prototypes, I guess you could say, of the blue pants wearing Drax, which we haven't actually seen before, and he looks like he comes with the display base and everything, so possibly this is a hint that we're actually going to be getting him in the future, but we'll have to wait and see. Now this is the Crossbones figure. So the Crossbones figure is a really awesome looking, almost complete looking figure. So maybe it got quite far in the production phase but never actually went through. It does even have a base with the nameplate etched in. So that leads me to believe that it got quite far into development. Obviously they have a huge shrine to Iron Man. They've got pretty much every Iron Man figure they've ever made on display here, including the Ironmonger, Whiplash, the blue diecast Mark III, and they also have a huge Hall of Armor in an awesome display right in the center of the actual Iron Man cabinet, which looks just absolutely stunning. Now we do have a picture of the just released Mark II diecast, which I did actually pick up on my trip, so I will be doing a video on this guy, but at this point when I'd taken the photo, I hadn't actually picked him up. I was still deciding whether or not I was going to get it, but you can see how awesome it actually looks. This is the Hall of Armor display I was talking about with the Mark 42 in the middle and the Workshop Tony there as well. You can see they've got a ton of tables and accessories and stuff lying around everywhere. It looks really awesome. Now we do also have a picture of another unreleased figure being the Royal Guard. At Secret Base there wasn't actually much in terms of unreleased stuff. That was all at the ACG HK, and they do have heaps of photos and quite a few videos as well, which I'll show you in just a second. This is the new release sort of section. As you can see, they've got the deluxe version of Boba Fett, they've got Teenage Groot and Rocket as well. Obviously the review on them are up on the channel, as well as the Nanotech Iron Man. He does look awesome in this light with the UV sort of black light on it. Without that, he looks pretty average, and I've got photos of that in just a sec. So now we are getting on to the good stuff. So this is pretty much the line for the first day of ACG HK, and you can see how enormous it actually is. I got there at about 10 o'clock, the line started probably about 9:30 and it opened at 10:15, and you can see it went on for pretty much about a kilometer. But eventually we got in, and the Hot Toys display was not open to the general public until about 12:30, so we killed time looking at other stuff until eventually they did open. But basically by that point the line was absolutely enormous. So I managed to speak to one of the staff and let them know that I did have the YouTube channel and I would be publicizing this stuff on the channel, and they did actually let me in, which was pretty good of them. Now first things first, I have all of these videos in order of how they were displayed. So you can see Batgirl and Deathstroke as well as Aquaman. Now Aquaman, still I'm not a big fan of the color scheme on the suit. It does look like it's very, very rigid to pose. It doesn't look like it's going to be posable at all, much like the Arkham City Batman. Now this was the first Marvel display upon entering the sort of little Hot Toys area, and you can see they have the Nanotech Iron Man, the Mark 46 first 10 years concept version, and also the concept black suit Cap, which I did actually end up picking up from the event. So I do have that to review for you guys, and that video will be coming up very soon. But you can see how awesome these guys actually look on display. The Nanotech Iron Man, not so much without the black light. Now this is Ant-Man and the Wasp. They looked really stunning in person, especially the Wasp. That head sculpt is just absolutely amazing in terms of the Evangeline Lilly likeness. It looks really stunning. And the suits as well, they don't look like they hinder the articulation too terribly much at all. So I'm very impressed with how they've done that. We do have the Infinity War section. Cap and Bucky look amazing. The standout, of course, was the War Machine. The War Machine looks absolutely gorgeous, as well as the Thor. The Hulkbuster looks pretty terrible. It looks like a vinyl sort of material, which it of course is, so I don't really know if I'll be picking that up after seeing it in person. And the Outrider looks like a bit of a hot mess in terms of the details up close. Now this is the Mark 50 accessories pack. They had two Mark 50s on display, this one as well as one in the Avengers section. The same figure I assume, just with the accessories. You can see how much he actually does come with, as well as the battle damage faceplate. It looks really awesome. Iron Spider and Doctor Strange, they looked terrific as well, especially that Doctor Strange with those accessories. He looks amazing. I'm so glad I sold mine to get that one. This is the second Mark 50 I was talking about. It looks pretty much exactly the same as the other one, and of course Thanos. He looks really, really awesome. I'm so impressed with the details on Thanos, especially that gauntlet. It looks stunning. and Corvus Glaive, and the exact same Star-Lord head sculpt as the original one. Now we do have the Black Panther display with Shuri. She looks awesome. The new Black Panther suit, as well as the T'Chaka with the thongs on the throne. It looks really awesome. I'm probably going to be getting that to have in my display, as well as the T'Chaka figure and the Killmonger. Now we do have the Advanced Suit Spider-Man from the new Spidey game. I did actually get to play that game. It's really, really good fun. I do suggest picking that up. It's an awesome game and an awesome figure as well as Spider-Punk, who looks a little bit interesting in person. Not sure about the that one. We'll have to wait and see. I'll probably pick it up and then sell it on if I don't end up liking it. Now this, to me, was the star of the show. This was the die-cast Mark 7. You can see how much stuff he comes with, and that Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt in that helmet looks stunning. The helmet actually has this really nice metal, sort of crunched up sort of look about it. It looks amazing. The battle damage pieces on this are just absolutely outstanding. I'm very impressed with how they've done that. The color was not quite where I'd like it to be in terms of the sort of dark cranberry sort of red that we all expected. However, in person, it's so striking, and the details on it are so stunning, I think you'll forgive it. You can see how awesome it looks in a flight sort of pose, as well as all the little panels which pop out, including those leg panels on the side, which looks really interesting. Now, unfortunately, he does come with a Terminator display base, complete with blood stains and bullets, so I'm not really too much of a fan of that. You can see they had the Mark V as well as the Mark II diecast on display here, as well as the Mark IV with gantry. So this is the new diecast Mark IV figure with the same head sculpt that came with the Mark V diecast figure. So not really much of a fan of these complete reuse of head sculpts, but I guess it's not too terribly bad. This is, of course, the new Hulkbuster with the Jack Hammer arm, or the same old Hulkbuster just with the Jack Hammer arm. It looks alright. I'm not going to be picking this up. No need for two Hulkbusters in my display, but it still looks alright for those who didn't get it. Now, this was another standout of the event, which was the Vulture figure. The wingspan on this thing is just enormous, I have to tell. It's amazing looking at this thing in person. Probably never going to get made, mind you, but it still looks amazing. I still don't know how they get that stand to hold up such a wide wingspan of a figure on such a small base. I really don't know how they've actually gone ahead and done that. Maybe the wings are really light. Another awesome figure is the Obi-Wan. He is just amazing in person. Seeing the likeness, it's just stunning. I mean, they have done a terrific job. Having him displayed right next to the Darkseid Anakin, it's not how I'm going to go. I'm going to have them sort of at the start of the movie together when they land on the capital ship, Grievous' ship, and they're sort of fighting off the battle droids. That's what I'm going to use those battle droids for. But the Darkseid Anakin does look good. Much paler than the original one, but I'm not going to be picking it up. Commander Cody and the Airborne Trooper look terrific in person. Absolutely amazing. The battle damage, the wear, they look like sturdy pieces, not like those old Sideshow ones. The Jango Fett was terrific as well. The armor was nice and shiny. It struck a nice balance between shiny and metallic. And of course, Yoda and Count Dooku. The likeness on Count Dooku was really good. I was a bit unsure when I first saw the pictures, but in person it's amazing. And a ton of lightning effects come with these two guys, so you will not be short on lightning effects. Now, the DX-17 Darth Maul was also on display with his speeder bike and hooded robe. As when I first saw the photos, I didn't know if it was coming with the robe, but obviously we now do know, and it looks terrific. I've said terrific about a million times. I probably should put like a terrific counter in the corner of the screen there, but it looks so good, and I just can't overestimate how excited I am for that figure. Now, we do have the Mud Trooper, the awful, and I say this, awful looking Chewbacca with those terrible puffy lips. I mean, I don't know what happened to that Chewbacca figure. Hopefully they fix it. We do have the Solo, which looks really good in person. Not 100% with the likeness, still really great. This is the Patrol Trooper, I think they call it. He looks alright. Don't know if I'm probably going to be picking it up. We'll have to wait and see. He's a bit light on accessories, doesn't come with his speeder. Range Trooper and Mimban Trooper, though, they look terrific. Especially that Mimban Trooper. The weathering is amazing. Now we do have the 1/4 Vader, which will be going into my 1/4 collection. I will be picking up most of the Hot Toys 1/4 figures down the line. I'm not sure about the Joker because I don't have that Dark Knight figure. I know that if I get that Joker, I'm going to have to get the Dark Knight. But anyway, we're talking about Vader. He looks amazing. The little helmet stand, I'm just going to get the standard version. I don't need that helmet stand. He's always going to have the helmet on in my display. Probably going to have his hands on his belt boxes. Looks terrific. The Bespin Leia gown figure, just absolutely stunning. I'm probably going to be picking that up. I now hope that this means we're going to be getting a Bespin Han and a Lando. That'll be amazing to see from Hot Toys. New Empire Strikes Back Vader. This is remarkably quite a lot different to the other Vaders that Hot Toys released. I'm really impressed with how it looks. I'm definitely going to be grabbing that. As well as the Attack of the Clones C-3PO, which I'm not really too big of a fan of. This R2 though, I am a huge fan of. It looks amazing with all of the little bits and pieces sticking out of it. Now we do have Alita Battle Angel. This figure is reusing the Battling Cap display base. I don't know if this figure will ever get released, depends how the movie does. John Wick. So this John Wick figure actually is from John Wick 2. I guess that's the movie that Hot Toys got the license from. Now there are a ton of customs, and when I first saw this I said, thank God people are... there's no need to go out and hunt down all of these head sculpts. You can finally get the ultimate John Wick with all of those accessories. He looks amazing. Now the Neo figure, this was one that I wasn't too sure about when I first saw the pictures in person, though it just looks really good. I'm still not going to be picking it up. I'm not that big of a Matrix fan. I don't mind the films, but I'm not like a die-hard fan of those films. We do have the Agent Smith. I still think the glasses look really, really funky on this figure. They just don't sit right. They look either a little bit oversized or a little bit too thick. I'm not exactly sure. Now we do have the Justice League version of Wonder Woman. The head sculpt, let me just tell you, the head sculpt is amazing in person. The lighting does not do the paintwork justice in person. It just really, really looks very lifelike, very realistic. I'm a big fan of it. The base does not sort of connect to the other bases. I look down the side, there's no connection points on that. Here is the 1/4 scale Joker, which looks terrific. He's got that sort of grenade section in his jacket there, much like one of the earlier releases of the DX Jokers. And you can see all of his accessories, including the bank robber mask as well, which is weird because he doesn't come with that bank robber outfit. So I don't know if I'll be picking this up. If I do, then I'll have to get that Dark Knight Rises, Dark Knight 1/4 scale Batman, which is going for insane amounts of money. Now, last figure on display at the ACG HK was the new Predator from the new Predator movies. A lot of people weren't a fan of me saying that I didn't like it. It just looks too streamlined for me in terms of a Predator figure. So I might get it. I'm a decent enough fan of Predator, so we'll have to wait and see about that. So that's about it, guys, for the coverage on ACG HK. I'll just put a few last pictures in here of some standout pieces at the event that you guys can take a look at. But other than that, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.